I muted my microphone. Okay. Hopefully this is working. Hey guys, it's Tom. It's Monday afternoon, 2 o'clock on the East Coast. I don't know what time it is in Hawaii. I'm going to guess 9 a.m. We're calling a SOMIFA28 playoff game between Dale Van Dieven's Kansas City Chiefs and Lawrence Green's San Francisco 49ers. And we start with a big kick return for D'Anthony Thomas. That was probably a long game roll on a 41-yarder. Dennis will be joining us. Yeah, Snake Eyes it was. Okay. I gotta get my game calling mindset on it. I have a nursing visit on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and there was a bit of a tight schedule. I didn't even get to finish my lunch, but I had a couple of bites. I'm pretty hungry. Well, I'll be able to call the game. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs at their own 49. Got a 41-yard kickoff return to get things going. I'm assuming the Chiefs is Dale Van Dieven. We'll have to talk right to Marco Murray. Got Tyrod Taylor, a quarterback here. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts, 1 running back. And he gets a 6 on Murray's card for a 1-yard gain. 2nd and 9. This is in SOMIFA28. The inaugural season, a 28-team league. Dennis Crowley started it up last summer. It's in the SOMIFA family of leagues. It's the first league that's not 24 teams in SOMIFA. It's 28. It's the average defenses, but in the playoffs, the home team gets the good pass defense cards. It's a draft keeper league. And this is a wild card game. I believe these teams were 10-6 and 11-5. 11 teams win out of 28. Short pass Nick Boyle on 2nd and 9. Defender Extra incomplete for 16 yards and a first down. So Dale's got Tyrod Taylor quarterback, DeMarco Murray running back, Julian Edelman and Antonio Brown are the receivers. Julius Thomas and Nick Boyle the tight ends. The offensive line very strong on his left side. Also has a center 6 for run blocking. You can't quite see what the pass blocking looks like. We'll have to go right to Murray. Defense calling pass. Double teaming Antonio Brown. Looks like Lawrence is in a 3-4. I'm assuming Lawrence is the 49ers because he usually is. Well, I don't know if he usually is, but I know he has been the 49ers in other leagues. So Dennis asked for the link. I sent him the link, but I guess he hasn't joined. 2nd down and 10. He asked for it in a group setting, which I can't send him. So 2nd down and 10 for the Niners at San Francisco 34. Lawrence plays a 3-4 defense, 5-5-4 in the defensive line, 4-5-5-4 at linebacker. So the outside linebacker is a little vulnerable. Short pass Julian Edelman gets wrong with 4 men. Incomplete on Tyrod Taylor's card. 1, 4, 8, 13, 17 inches of short pass wrong. Completion, a little low. But you have the receiver, and he's low interception. And, of course, he's good with the must run on right. Inaugural 28-team league, so a lot of, not great teams, particularly down here in the 7 through 11 wild card range. And even up top, Dennis did a tremendous job getting our team to the 4 seed, I think it is. 12-3-1. 3rd and 10 for the Chiefs at the San Fran 34. Jeremy Maclin checks in as the 3rd wide receiver. Short pass Antonio Brown, linebacker double team. Receiver guessed right, incomplete. Only guessed right in the linebacker double team. And Dale stuck in no man's land here. 4th and 10 at the San Fran 34. This league uses the modern rules set as I determine it, and Dennis has and others have. The white die 6 and the dump off. If you're using those 2 rules together, you're pretty much using the modern rule set. Then it becomes a matter of whether you use double counting defense or 1 draft league defense for the whole league. And this league, we use 1 draft league defense for the whole league. 4th and 10 for the Chiefs. They're going to go for it because they're stuck in no man's land. 3-2, by which we mean A little too far for a field goal, but a little too close to be punting it when you're likely to get a touchback. So 3 wide, 1 halfback. Short pass, Julius Thomas. Receiver gets right, complete for 10 yards and a first down. So a big 4th and 10 conversion for Dale from the San Francisco 34. And now you can end up with points, maybe even a touchdown, because you converted the 4th and 10 in the first quarter, the opening drive. And it was the right move was to go for it there. Long pass, Antonio Brown. Guess wrong. Receiver touchdown. Snake eyes. Brown is, of course, maxed out. And Tyrod Taylor, only 1,367 units, but he's got the receiver reading in there with a maxed Antonio Brown. And Dale goes for the touchdown right outside the 20. And he gets it to take a 6-0 lead. Caleb Sturgis off the extra point is up and good. 7-0 Chiefs as they get a touchdown on the opening possession after a 4th and 10 conversion from the defense's 34. Kickoff into the end zone for a touchback. And out comes Lawrence with Jimmy G. I like to see this. I have Jimmy G on my SSFA team. I'm down to 3 keeper teams of my own. I GM with Dennis, but, 3 of my own. And I got Jimmy G on the SSFA team, along with Derek Carr. So next year, Jimmy G will probably be playing. Although he's going to have his picks will be high next year. Carlos Hyde, the running back. Deshaun Jackson, Brandon Cooks, the receivers. Jack Drill, the tight end. North tackle left to Carlos Hyde. Good defense calls run. Offensive onside tackle +4, +1. Donald Penn makes the block. For 4 yards, makes it 2nd down and 6. Very good offensive line, looks like. Couple 6s at tackles, 5s everywhere else. Penn, of course, is a 7. Defense plays a 4-3-6, 4-4-6. Linebackers go 4-6-6. I'm with Jordan Howard. You got Jordan Howard and Carlos Hyde. Offensive left guard +6 or +1. Boy, how many rushing attempts do you need? So 48 unfatigued attempts there. Third and 5 for the Niners. Dennis allowing, I think, quarterbacks of 50 attempts or more to be unlimited in this inaugural SOMIFA28 season, and maybe in SOMIFA28 in general going forward. Third and 5 for the Niners at their own 30. Kyle Juszczyk, the excellent blocking back. Flat pass right to Jack Doyle, throwing at the 4. Dale double teaming also. Linebacker zone extra short gain. And a short gain for 16 yards and first down. Clay Matthews only a 4. Interesting, they have 3rd and 5, so you might think, oh, maybe I'll flood the flat. But he didn't. He double teamed someone instead. Because his other 2 linebackers are 6s. But again, that's kind of obvious. You're going to flood the flat with the 4s, so guys will oftentimes do something else. Maybe throw a short pass or a long pass. Long pass to Deshaun Jackson. Defense gets it correctly. Safety's only a 4. Dump off is complete for 10 yards and a first down to Juszczyk. I do want to remind Dennis that I sent him the link. Spell it off. Dennis, I sent you a link to the Hangout. Press enter key. Microphone off. Flat pass right to Jack Doyle, linebacker in zone. That time Clay Matthews makes the play. Spectator has joined. That could be Dennis. The broadcast is live. The mic is good. I'm screen sharing. Everything looks fine. It's 2nd down and 10 for the Niners at the Kansas City 44. More of an offensive rule set with the modern options. There's Dennis. I look for Jordan Howard, guessed correctly. Offensive left guard +6 or +1. Ron O'Leary makes the block, so it's 3rd and 4. Is that you, Dennis?
Howdy. So what did I miss?
It's first of all, it's a big 3rd and 4 right here for the Niners at the Kansas City 38, mid-first quarter. 7-0 Chiefs. Let's see what happened in this play. Off tackle left for Carlos Hyde. Defense calls run. Offensive onside guard. There's a fumble. Looks like a possible snap fumble. And Garoppolo snap fumble 13.9. which is a pretty high snap fumble number, Dennis. You're going to get
That's
one about every 6 quarters, almost one a game. And snap fumble turnover recovered by Thomas Davis. The Chiefs got the kickoff, Dennis, and returned it 41 yards on a snake eyes for D'Anthony Thomas. Then they moved down into 49ers territory. They had 4th and 10 for the 34. As everyone left to DeMarco Murray, gains 5 yards. They had 4th and 10 at the San Francisco 34 rather, and they went for it because it was too far away for a field goal, too close to punt, no man's land. He converted the 4th and 10 on a short pass receiver to Julius Thomas, and then he threw a long pass to Antonio Brown for a touchdown. That's how he got the 7-0 lead. Then Lawrence was driving until, of course, that snap fumble turnover on 3rd and 4.
Yeah, it's interesting. The regular season game between these two, San Francisco had the better record by a game, but Kansas City blew them out 30-11 in the regular season.
Interesting. Okay. It's a good-looking matchup here. I mean, I was talking about a 28-team league, a larger league. So especially down here in the wild card round, not great teams, but they've got like some decent pieces here and stuff that you have to match. I like the way the teams look. It's a little more look like NFL stock teams more than superstar teams, or very, very strong teams, shall we say?
Yeah, and if we remember back in the first round, people were a little shocked. I mean, not totally shocked, but a little shocked that Lawrence went with Garoppolo with his first pick.
Yeah, I know. I was very surprised, but it's worked out well. 3rd and 5 for the Chiefs now at their own 45. Was that his first round pick or his second round pick?
That was his first round pick, like at the bottom of the round. But still,
sure.
People at that time, Garoppolo was not assured of a starting job.
No. Looking best of Malcolm Murray, successful double team by Lawrence. Stops the conversion that might have been a completion on Taylor on 7, right?
Yes.
That would have been
a first down.
Would have been a first down. And instead, Britton Kolka comes on for the punt. It's a 50-yarder. Eric Weems is back. He's got the big snake eyes roll. And instead, we have what looks like a bounce, no return. Good bounce for the Chiefs, says Dale Van Dieven, the DVD. Captain Blu-ray. So 1st and 10 for the Niners at their own 20, their second possession. That was a 3rd and 4 that they turned it over, but they were at the Kansas City 38, so if he had missed it, he probably would have gone for it. Flat pass right, Carlos Hyde. Receiver gets right, +3. Now, Lawrence has got Carlos Hyde and Jordan Howard, Dennis. So I think he's got
a nice combo.
He's got more than enough rushing attempts.
Wow.
For the game. You could probably play about 6 quarters and you'd be okay. And
yeah, you have to wonder if our rule that you can only have 4 running backs have made those guys slip a little bit than if you could have unlimited running backs.
Well, those guys are still going to be they're going to be your top. Normally they'd be starting for somebody, so I don't think I got down that far,
Right, but how they wound up on the same team, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, flat pass right to Kyle Juszczyk, throwing at that 4. Linebacker's own extra short gain is incomplete. Second time in a row, Clay Matthews, the 4, made the play. He did not make the play on a 3rd and 5 when Lawrence threw there, and Dale did not flood the zone, but played elsewhere. Dale's got 4.66 linebackers and 6.4, 4.6 defensive ends. So the flat pass for him, if he can just flood this 4, is a good way to defend it. Get a word about Deshaun Jackson and Brandon Cooks down the field, though. 3rd and 7 here for Lawrence.
And in a SOMIFA-style league, San Francisco has the advantage of the good pass defense. So something to keep in mind throughout the game.
Short pass to Deshaun Jackson. Correct double team by Tayshaun Gibson. But the dump off is good for 10 yards and a first down. Dennis, why don't you run down the pass blocking offensive line for this Niners team?
All right. So going from left to right, it's 6'7", 5'3", 5'7", 5'3", 6'7". So the 2 tackles are 6'7s. That's huge. And the guards are both 5'3s.
So good pass blocking for a 28-team league, especially the inaugural season.
And a great
pass to Deshaun Jackson, nobody there, but the blitz is on, incomplete on Garoppolo's card. Garoppolo's actually got a pretty good long pass card. I think it's 7-13 maybe.
Right, and low
long pass completions.
Low interception chance too.
That's right. Just a high snap fumble, but you didn't have the ball anyway. So more of a flat pass, long pass card for Garoppolo on this card. The short pass is only okay. But you could throw it, especially with these this pass blocking here. I doubt that. I don't know what Dale's pass rush looks like. And
the flat pass is mitigated somewhat by Dale's 2 6 pass rated linebackers there, leaving only 4 as a nice target to shoot at.
Correct. So you may want to go with running the ball in short passes. Short pass to Brandon Cooks, covered by the 5. Dump off is for a loss of 2 to Kyle Juszczyk. Because when you have those good pass blocking and decent receivers, Brandon Cooks are very good. You can throw those short passes.
Yeah.
And dump offs will help you out.
And this is the kind of result that people who are against the dump off forget about, where it's a dump off receiver rating for -2 or an incomplete pass. They only want to focus on the +30 in the long gains that they seem to think.
3rd and 12 for the Niners, their own 31. Goes 4 wide, 1 halfback. I mean, in fairness to those guys, when the dump off is very impactful. I mean, there's a big difference in the rule with it or without it.
Oh, it certainly is. But these guys seem to think that it's,
a long game fest.
Yeah, the devil spawn, because there's nothing they can do to stop it, which they don't really understand the complexities of the rule and the strategies that you can use to mitigate it as a defensive coach.
4 wide, 1 halfback. Shotgun formation, nickel 3-3-5. Short pass, Brandon Cooks not being double teamed, single covered by 5. Foreman in zone, incomplete to Garoppolo's card. 1-4-8-11. See 12 short pass right units. That's a little low. That is must run. When you have 5, 6, 7, 8 incomplete, that's
Yeah.
45-yard bunt for Bradley Rack and Pinion. Julian Edelman from his own 24. I think no touchdown this year for him. Gets a 5-yard return. Not a bad punt returning card, but he's had better in the past. But decent options with this matchup, 11-7-6 on the opponent PR. So we're settling down here, late first quarter. Chiefs up 7-0. 3 minutes to go in the first half. So the regular SOMIFA Super Bowl may be tonight, possibly postponed. Short pass for Nick Boyle, receiver incomplete. Ron Dickinson not feeling well. More than not feeling well. He's got like pneumonia or something, or had it. I don't know. So he's going to wait and see how he feels tonight. It's
a little scary this year with I mean, maybe it's just the media blowing it up, but it certainly seems there's been more deaths reported due to flu, which you wouldn't normally see.
It's been a very severe flu season. A long pass to Julian Edelman. Must run for Taylor. Only gains 3 yards. You want to get 2-7 on this card. 2-5 is very nice. 16 yards or more. But the 2-7 is 8 yards or more, and then a big drop off to 4 yards or less. And of course, running is a big part of his game.
Yeah, and Taylor was Dale's first-round pick. Shows you the importance, and he went before Garoppolo. So that's the importance of a quarterback in these large leagues.
That's right, because you don't want to be stuck with nobody. 3rd and 7 for the Chiefs.
Or Brian Hoyer.
That's why we traded up. Well, unless you're Dale Ripley.
Exactly, you get you to Super Bowl.
Take Brian Hoyer. 3rd and 7 for the Chiefs at their own 32. 3 wide, 1 halfback. Short pass to Edelman. Covered by 5. It's a dump ball for 6 yards, short of the first down. And I'm sure Dale will punt it, 4th and 1 from his own 38, late first quarter, rather.
With the lead, too.
Yes. But it's a slow play call, so maybe he's not going to punt it.
I would be shocked if he
about it. I would be very surprised as well, but you never know. I think sometimes guys misread. There we go. Maybe he was just adjusting his watch or something.
There's certainly times where I think about it in that situation, but
yeah, well, yes. Punt goes 59 yards inside the 10 for Weems. Lawrence lets it bounce into the end zone for a touchback. Well, I think sometimes we say things on these shows that we have over the years, and then maybe some guys maybe go a little too far with it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it looks like there was something in real life that was going on. You have to remember Dale's a father and high school principal, so certainly, this is a day off from school, but you can certainly imagine there would be some distractions from his kiddos from time to time. I
thought maybe he was playing from the principal's office.
Well, it's President's Day, so there's no school today.
I know, but before I caught that, I was, he's going to get himself in detention for playing games in school.
There you go.
I think it's funny that we have a principal in the league. Well, I mean, people from all walks of life will play Strat, of course.
Sure.
But it's just funny. You don't think of yourself as a student with your principal playing Stratomatic.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to enforce everyone in a school as the principal to play Stratomatic. Let's just grow the game by becoming dictator principals. So, in order to graduate, you have to pass the Stratomatic football test.
So 1st and 10, here we go. We have some clickage. Okay, moving right along.
Kind of cool that the 49ers have Garoppolo and Hyde on their team.
That's right. Off tackle left to Hyde. You can remember you can 4-yard gain.
Who knows where Hyde will wind up after free agency in this NFL offseason?
Could be on the Jets. Article on PFT today, Dennis, saying that the Jets, apparently rumors the Jets are going to
pay whatever it takes. I saw that.
Whatever it takes. It's good negotiating there.
Yeah.
Looking past for Jack Joe, nobody there. Nice call by Lawrence. Short gain, 17 yards. It's a good call by both coaches to an extent because Dale's got the linebacker 4.66s. He's been leaving those sixes home, blitz them just occasionally. But he's generally been leaving them home, and Lawrence had been throwing at the 4 flat, and now Lawrence throws a look and gets the empty zone because Dale slid the 6 out.
That's one of the hidden advantages of a good run blocking line because you're more concerned about plugging those gaps on defense.
It's like a right for Carlos Hyde, gets 5 yards. Yeah, and conversely, one of the real disadvantages of having 4s on your defensive line, you feel like you have to plug that hole a little more often.
Absolutely.
When certain guys like you perhaps have got a line full of 5s or better, you don't bring your linebackers up that much. Linebacker is a 4-yard gain, and it makes it easier to defend the flat pass. And the flat pass is really generally more effective than the running game. I mean, the flat pass wrong is usually better than a run guess wrong to some extent, or I don't know. Flat pass wrong is usually better than a run guess wrong. Wouldn't you say? Or not? Okay. 3rd and 1 for the Niners in the midfield. Off tackle right for Carlos Hyde. Defense guesses run. Offensive onside tackle 8-3. That's 8 yards and a first down behind Jason Peters. As I don't know if we lost Dennis or he just we lost Dennis. Okay. So the Niners driving nicely here, early second quarter. Looking to tie up the game or at least get on the board. They're down 7-0. Long pass, Brandon Cooks. Defense double teaming correctly with the safety. Defender X will be incomplete. Now Cooks covered by a 5 anyway, and it was a white die 5. That's Terrence Newman, the veteran, playing left corner for these Kansas City Chiefs. And it's been a lot of running and some flat passing, mostly for Lawrence. He has thrown 2 long passes as well. And you can hit this secondary with a safety 4 and the short pass defenders go 5-5-4 left to right. So Deshaun Jackson's only covered by 4 and Brandon Cooks covered by 5, but Brandon's maxed out. Flat pass right to Jack Doyle, throwing into 2 men this time, and it's 2-yard completion. I think Dennis just rejoined us. Yes, he did. My volume gets altered when people join or leave the broadcast at times. I don't know if you're speaking, I can't hear you, but 3rd and 8 for the Niners at the Kansas City 40. Walking back, 1.5 back. This is a bit of no man's land. Now, I wonder if he's going to run it here to set up a 4th and short. Now, Luke Kuechly is a linebacker 66. So he's going to – there's no chance at a good containment here. Linebacker draw, guessed correctly, a loss of 1. Wow. Dale thinking along the same lines and calling run. It would have been if it was no draw play, it would have been a 2-yard gain. But instead, it's a loss of 1. And Dale and Lawrence will punt it from the 49. Oh, my goodness. Call from corner punt. That goes 6 yards. Shank City. Bradley Pinion rolling a 12. Boxcars. It's only a 6-yard punt. And the Chiefs will take over. That's Dale Van Dieven after the horrible punt. 1st and 10 on his own 35. Dennis, if you're talking, I cannot hear you at all. I hope you can hear me, just letting you know. Well, I think I heard some breathing. One pass, Antonio Brown, defensive back in zone. There you are.
Lost my connection there.
Okay. Now, if you saw what happened there, but Lawrence was driving into Kansas City territory, doing well. Then got a couple of bad plays, and on 3rd and 9, I think he ran a draw play that was guessed correctly, lost a yard. So he punted it, and punt was shanked. It was a 6-yard coffin corner punt. 12 of 13 yards of Bradley Pinion, and coffin corner down to 6 yards.
Hello.
Yep. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, nice change of circumstances there.
Yes, and the Chiefs are taking over here. They've got 2nd and 10 at their own 35. So Lawrence has suffered from the snap fumble and the 6-yard punt. Long pass, Antonio Brown. Defender X, a long gain complete for 30 yards. Ronald Darby, there's only a 4 and could not make the play. I didn't realize that Antonio was covered by a 4. I thought he was covered by a 5, but no. So both of these teams have some matchups in the secondary. They have really identical secondaries, except that Lawrence has got a free safety 5, whereas Dale only has a free safety 4. But they've got a good wide receiver covered by a 4. It's Deshaun Jackson for Lawrence rather, and here it's Antonio Brown for Dale.
Yeah, and what's interesting is in the regular season game, Brown didn't go off. He only had 4 catches for 34 yards. With a long of 12, so he's mixing it up his targets today.
Yes, well, of course, it can be hard to get your big time receiver going because he draws so much attention, and especially if he's covered by a 4, it's almost easier for those guys to have a big game when they cover by a 5 or 6.
True.
I think we double team this off. And 2nd down and 10. I noticed that with Julio Jones in SOMIFA. 2nd and 10 for the Chiefs. Here at the San Francisco 35 now, thanks to that 30-yard bomb. Emerald left to Tyrod Taylor called correctly. These guys getting killed with some guess right run calls, but there's a 3-yard gain for Taylor. You don't get a good yardage too often on the Emerald right call for the quarterback.
Let me run.
The 5-7 is terrible.
Let me run down the Chiefs offensive line since we talked about the Niners. They go 5-7, 6-7, 6-7, 0-4, and 4-4 from left to right.
So he's got the strong left side of the line, a la our own team, and he has a center 6. And the pass blocking is reasonable for a 28-team league. 3rd down and 7 now. He goes 2 tights, 2 wides, 1 running back. At the San Francisco 32, will he consider running the ball here? Already up 7-0. He's got some good blocking on the left side.
Yeah, I think running
maybe a pitch out at that 4, but you don't get hit with the right call and lose yardage. Maybe an off tackle. Well, tackle draw, defense calls pass on one that way. Only gains 2 yards. That's the problem with a chunky card again in a situation like that, Dennis.
Yeah, you're almost hoping for the D card if you're going to roll in the middle of somebody's card.
Yeah, or if you had a better back like a Carlos Hyde or Jordan Howard. Oh. But now, wow, what is his field goal kicker out here, Dennis? 23 to 32.
Efforting on that, it looks like he is 2 through 7, 11, and 12. It's the mighty Caleb Sturgis.
So 4th and 5, I would try the field goal from the 30. I know it's only 2 to 7, 11, and 12. It's not that low. But to go for 4th and 5,
even run there if you're not going to kick the field goal?
Well, no, I would go the other way because you're thinking short pass to Nick Boyle, covered by 4, 3 men there, 12 incomplete, turns it over and downs. Missed a 2 to 7, 11 and 12 opportunity to get a 10-0 lead, a 2-score lead. But no, then if it's 4th and 7, if you know you're going to go for them 4th down, you can try to break containment, get to a shorter 4th down.
Makes sense.
So, but yeah, you would have tried that field goal, right?
Yeah, and it would have made it if this roll of the 12 was accurate. Yeah, if you got the same roll, it would have been good.
Yeah, and 2 to 7, 11, and 12 is not that bad. And it's from the 30, not from like the 35. So if you miss it, okay, he gets better field goal position. But, you hate to try those 37-yarders and he gets it out by the 44 or something.
There's certain times of the games where you want to use, situational football. If you're going to take the lead, exactly. If you're going to make it a 2-score game, if you're going to reduce it to a 1-score game, you got to try the field goal in those spots.
Hey, that's right. 2nd down and 7. And to go up, like you said, 2 scores, to go up 10-0 situational football, that would have been the way to go. And it's still making the kick 2/3 of the time. Linebacker Jordan Howard, 2nd and 7. Offensive right guard, 7-2. That's John Greco-Roman Wrestling making the block. 7 yards in the 1st down. We've seen quite a few guard blocking ratings come up here favorably for Lawrence, behind Ronald Leary particularly, and now John Greco.
Yeah, and Lawrence has got to feel good that he's got the lead, but he was that close to making it a 2-score lead.
Dale, you mean?
I mean Dale, excuse me.
I keep confusing the names too. I know both guys, but I said don't identify these franchises yet. Linebacker Jordan Howard, guess wrong, 9 yards. And it's interesting. You got Jordan Howard and Carlos Hyde. I mean, these guys have both been going off.
Yeah.
In this rule set and helping teams that are doing very well. And he's got them both in the same team. I'd kind of want to ride Jordan Howard. He seems to do it more. He's got the bigger runs, but then Hyde's got the 6-7 short game. But I think Howard might have 6 and 8. So either way, they're very good cards.
Yeah, I think I would pound Howard simply because his fumble number is lower as well.
Exactly.
And on top of that,
yeah, fumble number lower, and he has more explosive runs while still having gains in positive yardage. Linebacker Jordan Howard gets right, gains 5. Case in point. Odd back is good. Probably for any one carry, I'd like to have a hides off tackle column because of the better short gains. But if I had to give one guy the ball, I don't know. They're both real good.
Yeah, you can't really complain. And they're going up against 4 defensive tackles. So,
yep, flat pass right to call side. Defense calls run. Linebacker zone, extra short gain. Launches that's complete for 17 yards and a first down at the Kansas City 29. Launches did a nice job running the ball a lot, sprinkling his other passes. He's gotten some flat pass wrong opportunities because of his running game. Dale showing blitz now. Now, what's he got here to rush with? Left into 8. 8-1-1-7 when he has the backup right end, Julius Peters in. Looking past the jackpot. The blitz is on. Gets right for 6 yards. So that when you have a good flat pass right quarterback and a good running game, you can really mitigate the impact of free safety blitzing. Yeah,
and not to mention a 6'7" fullback in Kyle Juszczyk.
There you go. 2nd and 4 for the Niners. Down at the Kansas City 23. 4:40 to go in the half. This is the furthest penetration for San Francisco. They've gotten close to this territory and have suffered misfortune. But now they're going to look to cash it in and get on the scoreboard. Short pass, Brandon Cooks against the blitz, challenging it. Receiver gets right, incomplete. Only had a 7 on 8, only a 1 in 19 sack there.
Right. 19% chance it didn't happen.
So you've got that center 7 also. Now, so you got tackle 7, center 7, blocking back 7. That's going to really mitigate the free safety blitz's impact there for the Chiefs.
Yeah, you're really shooting for those 2 good matchups, which are the guards.
And the defensive tackles only a 1. Off tackle right for Carlos Hyde, 10 yards in the first down. Defensive tackles are only a 1, but that's before the bump. And he was bringing stuff, but it's yeah, I don't know. The free safety blitz is probably not going to be too helpful for Dale here. 1st and 10 for Kansas City for San Francisco at the Kansas City 13. 3:54 to go. Carlos Hyde, the man in here.
Dale is a Chiefs season ticket holder. That's one way to remember.
Ah, nice. Off tackle left for Carlos Hyde. Defensive end -1 to +5. A loss of 1. He had Jarrell Casey in there that time, who I think is like a 6'4" or something like that.
Yeah, 6'5" defensive end.
Pulls him out for Julius Peppers occasionally. Who's a 4'7".
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Tremendous help against this offensive tackle.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that against a 7 defensive tackle. Just stick with a 6.
No, but he had him in there when he was doing a free safety plays a couple of plays earlier. 2nd and 11 for the Niners.
Not showing
Jordan
blitz.
Howard in there now. Nope. Which is the right move.
And Kyle Juszczyk can catch a short pass covered by a 4. Something to keep in mind as we get close to the end zone.
That's right. Neither Howard nor Hyde terribly good receivers, but I think Hyde's decent short pass. Linebacker for Jordan Howard. Defense calls run. 7 yards. Down to the Kansas City 7. 3rd down and 4.
Nice methodical drive here by Lawrence as he's getting his Niners in position to possibly tie this game. Big 3rd down here.
8 carries, 38 yards for Howard. He had a lot of good solid running. 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. 3rd and 4. Defense shows blitz this time. Lawrence should not be scared of that. He's going to run it. He can throw a short pass to Brandon Cooks, maybe. I think he throws a pass here because of the little 6s, because of the linebackers.
Yeah, look for an end run to Carlos Hyde.
Well, he's got that 4 in there. There's a short pass, Brandon Cooks. Defense calls run key. He picked off 2 only. So not picked off. Would have been a set to guess right because I'm assuming it's higher than 2.
Yeah, it's 2-3. It's 2-3, guess right.
Now, Mason Crosby's not a great kicker, but from this close, he's probably pretty good. You would expect Lawrence to kick the field goal here, Dennis.
Yeah, 2 through 10 at this range.
It is 2-3, guess right for Garoppolo.
Yep.
Kind of fun to call it a Jimmy G game.
Yeah, I get to see a little
preview of next year.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is 2 through 10. Yeah, 2 through 11 from this range.
Ah, nice. And up being good. And this is where Dale's. Now Dale's only up 7-3. Instead of trying that field goal, if he makes it, 10-3.
Yeah, but you got to feel good that you're able to stop him after a guy drives all the way down the field, gets inside the 10-yard line, and you're still able to keep him out of the end zone.
Yeah, and then especially you talk about Lawrence having the snap fumble and getting the 6-yard net punt, the 6-yard coffin corner punt rather, and then you hold him to a field goal down here. So it's like Lawrence has moved the ball. I don't know how many total yards he has, but he certainly has more yards than you think of for a team with only 3 points.
Yeah, he's got 150 total yards in the first half, and Dale's like at 100 and something, so barely over 100.
Yeah, Lawrence has moved the ball fairly well.
Only 4 first downs today for Kansas City, and yet they lead.
He had the bomb to Antonio Brown, and the turnovers and the field position help with the 6-yard punt. So we got a flat pass left to Julius Thomas, goes for 5 yards. And we're inside the 2-minute warning, so Dale's going to decide. Dale, it's a whole clock run. Okay.
Yeah, Kansas City had the ball first to start the game. So San Francisco, if they can hold here, they'll get the ball back with a chance to take the lead.
I think you'll see some runs here to try to pop a big one with Murray, who has a chunky card.
Yeah, and Lawrence has been very good at stopping the run today. Murray's not even, I don't think he even has 10 yards yet.
Looking pass for Julius Thomas, 5 yards and a first down. Let's see now if Dale will do a hurry up or a timeout since he got a first down here. Looks like a hurry up.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray, 6 carries for 8 yards today.
You could also do the M run with Tyrod Taylor running at that 4 here. Maybe go to probably, I'm assuming, some short gains and good stuff on Taylor's card.
Indeed.
Always, as Joe Golden pointed out, guys like to run the ball in the 2-minute offense when we're talking about realism.
Yeah.
And we're right to DeMarco Murray running to 5. No gain on the dreaded 5. There's that edgy card we talked about, 2, 3, 11, and 12.
And Taylor is similarly edgy. He's got a short gain on 7, but he's got his big numbers on 2, 11, and 12.
Yeah, not as good, but they're 2, 3, 7, 11, 12, yeah. With that must-run column, I think I would have expected a better end-run column.
It's kind of a chunky quarterback end-run column.
Yeah, kind of. Well, at least you don't get any 0s, 1s, and 2s. You're getting 4s and 6s. But
there it is.
There's an end-run left for Taylor. There's 3 yards. It looks more like a standard kind of running back's end-run column.
Yeah.
Usually like a good running quarterback, you see at least like a 6, 7 short gain. I mean, maybe a 10 plus 21 or something. But he doesn't have that. 3rd and 7 now. Dale's been letting the clock run a lot here. Now, which I guess will help him if he ends up having to punt here because it's already 3rd and 7. 3 wide, 1 halfback. I'd like to see him, well, I was going to say do something standard, run it, but maybe not. Short pass, Jeremy Macklin. Defense show blitz, but didn't actually blitz. Receiver gets right, incomplete. So now Dale looks good for letting the clock run a bit because there's only 30 seconds to go in the half as he has to punt it away to Lawrence and Eric Weems, I believe. The 46-yard punt down to Weems. Stink Eyes is dangerous. 9 is a 12-yard return. Stink Eyes plus 73. Let's see, that's a huge one when you hit it. And Lawrence has got 22 seconds to the 25, so he needs to get about 40 yards. And I would think you would want Jordan Howard in here now.
Exactly. Just one of those
long gains.
Yeah.
Defender extra short gain, 13 yards. He's got that 12 plus 69. I've seen that in person and I think in broadcasting.
Yep. He's not like super chunky, but he's got a good card plus chunks. So
exactly.
You want that, and he's got more carries. So if you're going to be wasting,
yeah, Dennis has a bad internet connection today. Out of Rancho Cucamonga. I don't know if that's where Dennis is from, but that is a local minor league team out there in the area. So 1st and 10 for the Niners at their own 38. Yeah, Jordan Howard has to. If you have a back that's got big runs in there, there's only 15 seconds left in the half. That's a guy got to in there. Short pass to Sean Jackson. No double team. Foreman there, incomplete. And Lawrence is now going to need at least is pretty much in a long pass completion here to try to get to field goal range. I'm not sure what his kicker is from the 33 to 37. But 27 yards gets you to the 35. So a long pass completion will usually be for more than that. So you probably can crack the 32 if you hit a bomb here. Corey Coleman, the former Cleveland Browns first-round pick, checks in as a third receiver. Long pass, Brandon Cooks being double-teamed, the two-man there, but it's complete for 28 yards, and Garoppolo's card on the double team, getting Lawrence to the Kansas City 34. Does he have a chance at a long field goal here for Mason Crosby? I don't think the chance is great, but it might be 2-5 or so. It's a 51-yard attempt to try to make it a 2-6 lead. It's up and good. He got the favorable variable, pushing him up to a 2-9 attempt from the 32 on the kicker's card. And Dennis, I think I heard you just reconnect. Lawrence hit a correctly double-teamed long pass for 28 yards to Brandon Cooks on Garoppolo's card on a 4 on the last play before the field goal. It's basically 8 seconds to go in the half. He hit that, and then Mason Crosby came out for a 51-yard field goal attempt, and he made it on the variable there. It was a 6. I don't think he would have been good from there otherwise. It was 2-4 only. 2-4 without the variable. I thought we had Dennis, but we don't. Thought I heard a noise there, but the variable field goals. I think, is one of the best, one of the better new rules STRAT's had in recent years. Had a nice, they've got quite a few nice little rules changes in the last 5 years or so to add a few things to the game. I can't think of all of them or any of them, I guess, outside of that one, but not even the last 4 or 5 years, I guess, since the computerization of the game and stuff has slowly come in. But the snap fumbles, the individual fumbles, the dump off, the white die 6, the variable field goal. I'm a proponent of the dump off for modern seasons. Certainly anything in the 21st century, and maybe a little further back. But just because it makes the game play more like the real NFL is played, it makes the statistics more like the real NFL statistics. It makes throwing the ball a lot be good. Go ahead, Dennis.
Cut out again.
Yeah, I see. You've got the.
My internet today is crappy.
You have to talk to the Rancho Cucamonga local internet authorities.
Well, get on the horn with Charter and find out what's going on.
Yeah, no, I don't. Obviously, I don't want you to reveal your real world location, Dennis. But so Rancho Cucamonga is the local minor league team. How far of a drive is it to a home game?
I live in Rancho. I don't care if people know.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm like 5 minutes away from. Well, 10 minutes away from the stadium.
Nice. And what's the name of that team?
The Quakes.
The Rancho. Oh boy, that's scary.
And they play at the Epicenter.
Oh, I get it.
Ba-dum-bum.
Nice. And what's the capacity of the Epicenter?
Probably about 3,500, something like that. It's a nice, small, quaint stadium.
Nice. A-ball, single A-ball, right?
Yeah. Yep. High A for the Quakes. For the Dodgers, they used to be the Angels. Now they're the Dodgers. Got bought out about 5-10 years ago.
I think they were the Padres once upon a time, many years ago.
They started off as the Padres. You're right.
Yeah. Fred McGriff once said that you're in the minor leagues when you're playing for Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
And I think he meant it just by more the name of the place than the locale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's certainly grown a lot since then.
That's right. The burgeoning Rancho Cucamonga community. So we got a 7-6 game here. Second half, Lawrence gets the kick and it's a touchback. Pitch out left to Carlos Hyde for 9 yards.
So recap to me, how did they get in the field goal range? Did they hit a big run or a big pass?
I said it before, and I thought you were on, but you weren't on. He had, with 8 seconds to go in the half, he had a long pass correct double team on Garoppolo's card, a 4 plus 28, to get him to the 34-yard line for a 2-4 field goal. but he got the favorable variable, which made it 2-9, and he made it.
Wow.
And there's a 5-yard run for Carlos Hyde as Julius Peppers makes a nice play. See, that time, Dale had Julius Peppers in on 2nd and 1. He's a 4-7 instead of Jarrell Casey's 6. So, got to pay attention, Dale. Just like you tell your students, Dale, attention to detail.
Sometimes maybe he was trying to do a reverse tell, like, hey, I'm going to call pass because I brought him in, and then call run.
Yes. Instead, he got a reverse. Well, he's lucky the guy made the play. Long pass completion, no men. Brandon Cooks on 11, 41 yards. As Garoppolo going up top to Cooks again. The current Niner and the current Patriot. The former Patriot and the current Patriot. I messed that all up. But a 41-yard completion from Garoppolo to Cooks. And it's a 1st and 10 for the Niners at Kansas City 20. Defense showing blitz with Peppers in the game now. Like that. Flat pass right, Kyle Juszczyk. We get a run key, so it gets wrong. Receiver 12 yards. You know that Juszczyk card well, Dennis. He's pretty much the only blocking back. He's the only blocking back worth having. The only two-way blocking back, really.
It just shows you that the NFL, the way it's changing, it's like nobody's using a fullback anymore.
Yeah.
2 tight ends.
But it's been that way for a while, though.
Yeah, but it's certainly like
8 to 10 years or so, maybe.
Pitch out left to Hyde. Only 3-yard gain.
But in the early years of the online community, early 21st century, you could find a blocking back who could do a little more. 2nd and goal from the 5, who was more like Juszczyk than Jerome Felton.
Right.
It was like a blocking only. 2nd and goal from the 5 here. Let's see if Dale can get with a big red zone goal line stand again. Not quite the goal line stand, but you know what I mean. And we're left to do now run key, but not on the end run. And he's got Julius Peppers in there again. 8 is 5 yards. Touchdown Niners. Jordan Howard.
Right idea. Wrong
9 carries, 43 yards. He's got almost an identical amount of carries he's used Howard and Hyde, splitting up nicely. And the running game's empowering the Niners. He's going to go for 2 here, Dennis, or you kick the extra point? He's going for two.
With that run blocking, you can't blame him, especially against 2-4 defensive tackles.
That's right. Now, there is a middle linebacker 6, though, with what's his name? Kuechly. Let's tackle right to Carlos Hyde, and he gets it. And I was going to say also, if I'm down for a 2-point conversion, Carlos Hyde and Jordan Howard, pretty nice pair of running backs.
Yeah, Jesus.
I guess right. You're not going to have a tandem like that too often. But Lawrence successfully goes for the 2. It's 14-10. The Chiefs have done nothing since their first drive. They did a 130-yard bomb, I think, after that, but they haven't done much at all since the first drive. And they do the 4th and 10 conversion on the first drive to get that touchdown. Linebackers run for DeMarco Murray, 3-yard gain.
All it takes is one big hit from Murray to get the momentum swinging back to Kansas City's way.
And that's what it's been for the Chiefs today is either a big play or not much. He has hardly thrown a flat pass on the outside, I would say, Dennis. Despite 4 is out there, and Lawrence is really not even flooding aggressively.
Yeah, you might even want to spread him out a little bit. Try to flat pass your way down the. Try to flat pass
right to Murray, not being double teamed this time. Receiver gets right 7 yards at a first down.
Against the 3-4, if you go 3 wide, it makes it tougher for him to have 2 or 3 zones covered, or you have to do one true double team, and then the other one you've got a chance to get.
And Dale has been throwing downfield partly because of Taylor's must-run ability as well. But he's thrown a fair number of short pass, long passes. The time of possession has to be favoring Lawrence heavily. And when left to DeMarco Murray, only gains 1. This end-run wrong column is pretty good. It's not as chunky. I mean, it's chunky with the 2 through 11 and 12. But outside of the 6+1, the rest of the yardage is pretty solid. +4, +6, +7. Well, the 10's only +2.
Yeah, and he's got that.
I like that to be a little stronger, but
so he's running towards that 5, Nick Boyle 5 run blocking tight end against the 4 defensive end.
Correct. And the offensive tackle and guard over there are helpful as well. So he runs to the left to good. Short pitch, Julie Thomas. 3 there gets wrong, 11 yards on the first down.
Now the
Chiefs are trying to get something going. And this is still a wild card round, correct?
Yeah, this gets us to our final 8 teams, and then we go.
It's been a slowly developing postseason. It seems like so far. It's SOMIFA28.
Yeah, the other 2 games were played early in the week. This one lasted because Lawrence was out of town.
Flat pass left, Julius Thomas throwing at the 5. So now you're seeing a few more flat passes for the Chiefs. Lawrence has been good with the double teaming so far in this game. Let's see if we get a 2nd and 10 run call. But Lawrence has been good at guessing run occasionally. He's been calling a good game defensively in terms of being right more often.
And Lawrence has got
how about like a short pass, Julian Edelman, like one of the short passes to a guy you haven't thrown to a lot today.
Covered by 5.
Is likely to be double cover. There it is. Short pass, Julian Edelman. Defender X covered by 5, as you said, and he makes the play. Logan Ryan, 5 and a 5, incomplete.
So you should have gone to Antonio Brown. That would have been a completion.
I think he was doubled, or was it Nick Boyle doubled?
I don't think anybody was doubled.
He doubled somebody there.
Did he? Okay. Maybe.
Third and
right.
10. I could be wrong.
You're right. It was a linebacker double team on the tight end and on Brown with the free safety.
3rd and 10. How did you figure that out? You scrolled up?
Yeah, failed double team.
In the middle box.
Yeah.
There's a short pass, guess right, incomplete for Jeremy Macklin. And 4th and 10, the Chiefs will have to punt it. So had a couple of first downs. Looked like things were going well. But then the drive stalled. And it's a coffin corner punt down to about the 7, probably, looks like. And Lawrence lets a punt bounce again. And it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So now Dale's got to feel like, all right, 14-7, I'm down. I haven't done anything since my first drive of the game. Lawrence has got the running game going. This is a big possession. Looking best to Jack Doyle. Guess wrong. 8 yards to Garoppolo.
Yeah, the big problem is we've both been in games like this where you have so many things go your way early in the game, and you can't take advantage of it. Lawrence had the shanked punt and the turnover, and next thing you know, you're only up a touchdown or 4 points after his field goal.
Yeah, and although in fairness, from scrimmage, it's been pretty much all Niners. So, the reason that he hasn't been able to take advantage is because it's just from scrimmage. You can't get anything going. But 3rd and 2, so it's, I don't know. You know what I mean, right? It's like you don't feel like your team has actually been playing a real good game. You've gotten those breaks, but your team is just not doing well,
Big 3rd down here. Yeah, if he needs to get a stop and get the ball back, no matter what it takes. You don't want to go down 2 scores to this team.
Yeah, off tackle, right to close side. Run, keep it not on the off tackle. Defensive tackle, +3 or +17. 17-yard gain for Carlos Hyde. Bursting past Stephen Paella. I like paella.
It's delicious. That would have been a stuff if he had brought down either the free.
There's a dump off, guess right, 16 yards to Hyde. Pass intended for Cooks, and here come the Niners again. And you have to again say, Dennis, now I sometimes feel like I hate killing guys too much for a decision. But if he had tried that field goal, if Dale had tried that field goal, and if it was good, we don't know if it would have been good. One pass gets wrong to Brandon Cooks. Touchdown, Garoppolo to Cooks. Garoppolo does have 1, 4, 8, 12 long pass rolling. It's not as many as I thought. And he gets the I've been seeing a lot of this 2, 3, 11, and 12 in the long gain chart here in the postseason. But now it's a 21-7 game. I was going to say I was going to kill Dale for the not trying to field goal. At least it'll only be 14-10, but a little more academic with that touchdown. That 21-7. And there he gets a kick return down to the 3-yard line, return 32 yards by Keem Hunt, as Dale needs to work on his special teams coverage. Not Dale, rather Lawrence. 36-32 long gain. Ouch. And I suspect we lost Dennis again. We did. The default lines at Rancho Cucamonga for the Quakes who play at the Epicenter, causing havoc with the Wi-Fi. 2nd down and 2 for the Chiefs at their own 43. Linebacker to Malcolm Murray. Defense guesses wrong. Nose tackle +7 or +33 is a 5. It's Brandon Williams of the NFL's Ravens. So a 7-yard gain for Murray. And the Chiefs are at midfield. They did have that good kick return. And maybe they should pound on the ground a little bit, see what comes up. One big run can get him in the end zone. Murray's got them on the card. Some off tackle or end run. Linebacker isn't too bad. Oh, though Lawrence probably put a guy up there. Short pass to Nick Boyle. It's a must-run sack of 0 yards. Statistical sack. Creating a 2nd down and 10 for the Chiefs. Left tackle left for Murray. Defense calls pass. Gets a 5-yard gain in Murray's card. See, even though he's chunky, there's not even that much chunk. All you're getting is the 11. It's just on a good card. All you're getting is the 11 long gain, and then 3's a short gain. Normally, at least you get like a 2, 3, and 11 or something for the chunkiness. So maybe end run needs to be the way to go. And the linebacker column wasn't too bad. This off tackle column, not that great. Too many 2s and 3s. Off tackle left to Murray again. 8 on the defensive squad for a 3-yard gain. Lawrence had brought a linebacker up. And now Dale faces 4th and 2 at the San Francisco 42. You figure he's going to go for it here. He's down 2 touchdowns. And we're late in the 3rd quarter. And he's going to go for it. 2 tights, 2 wides, 1 running back. Nothing's been that great for this offense today. Maybe an end run left here to Murray. I don't think Lawrence is going to bring that guy up. He might sell out for the run. Flat pass right, Nick Boyle. Lawrence was double teaming Tyrod Taylor. Flat pass receiver incomplete. Boyle, Tubble and Troyle, whatever the hell it is. I have that backwards, I think. Bubble. You know, the Macbeth thing. But flat pass wrong, incomplete. He actually only had 21 units. That was just 2 yards or more, because 4 is a completion for 1 yard. Long pass wrong, Brandon Cooks. Long gain, Garoppolo. 62 yards. Touchdown again. Brandon Cooks on the bomb from Jimmy G. A 58-yard touchdown. 27-7 reversal of the regular season affair, which was 30-11 Kansas City. And now it's all Lawrence all the time. 28-7. The Chiefs are up against it in a bad way. And what's even tougher, I think, is that even if Dale gets a touchdown with this running game and the flat pass acumen of Garoppolo, and he's hitting bombs down the field to Cooks, can he stop Lawrence? You know, when the other guy has that type of offense with the good ball control, you feel like it can be tough to stop him when you're trying to produce a comeback. You maybe rather play against a little more of a big play offense, and if he doesn't get his big plays, maybe you can get 3 and out. But Dale's going to do something on offense himself first. And there's a good start as he gets an 11-yard completion from Tyrod Taylor to Julius Thomas. 1st and 10 Chiefs at their own 36. Short pass, Nick Boyle. There's another 11-yard completion. And we saw this last time. I mean, Dale's gotten a couple of first downs and gets up towards midfield and then stalls. Last time we turned it over on downs at the San Francisco 42. Can't afford any more scoreless possessions, as we're very close to the 4th quarter here. Short pass, Julian Edelman, incomplete. Dale looking for the must run there, perhaps. 13 units of it. He has not hit it successfully, really. And Taylor only 11 of 23 through the air. Flat pass right to Marco Murray. Gets a white die 6 for 7 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 3 as we start the 4th quarter. Left tackle left to Marco Murray. 2-yard gain gets wrong again. That off tackle column. I mean, it's not horrible, but it just doesn't have enough going on to make you feel good about it. 4th and 1. The Chiefs will go for it there again. The San Francisco 44. Off tackle left to Murray. This time he gets the 1st down. Offensive onside guard 7 or 2. Marshall Yanda, one of the best in the business, makes the block. Needed every point of his 6 rating there. as it was a white die 6. And the Chiefs are now at the San Francisco 37. Got to get in the end zone here on this possession. Off tackle right to DeMarco Murray gains 2 yards. I mean, you just, you keep running this off tackle. It's not a good card. The linebackers not that great either. I mean, maybe he's got to try and run with this card, perhaps. Flat pass left to Julius Thomas. White die 6. 30-yard gain for Thomas. Oh, boy. He's capped at 24 yards. Jeez. Julius Thomas capped at 24 yards. And the Chiefs have got it at the San Francisco 11 instead of down at the 1. Or, well, I should say down to 5. Let's see what they do here. I'm going to end run for Murray. This off tackle, I need to put that, not rely upon that quite so often. Flat pass right, Jeremy Mack on one linebacker there. Short gain, guess wrong, touchdown. Lawrence is looking for the run. And the Chiefs finally get back on the scoreboard. 28-13. They're going to try to make it 20-14. And the extra point's good. And the Chiefs cut the lead to 28-14. They're going to have to play good defense here. Kick goes down to the 4, brought out 19 yards by Eric Weems. And now they've got their work cut out for them. Lawrence has been running the ball well all game, and in the third quarter has been opening up with bombs from Garoppolo to Brandon Cooks. He's got at least 1 long touchdown that way, perhaps 2. I think he has 2 long touchdowns that way. Flat pass right to Kyle Juszczyk. Guess wrong. Receiver 15 yards on a first down. This is just a tough offense to stop right now for Dale. And when the guy's hitting long passes, that can happen. He shows blitz. He doesn't have a good pass rush. This isn't going to hurt anybody against his team at 3-7s. According to Julius Peppers, big deal. Flat pass right, Kyle Juszczyk. The blitz is on. There's nobody there. So short gain on the defense's card. 17 yards. Just saying, if the guy's got 3-7s, you got to know the matchups. If he's got 3-7s and your defensive ends are only okay, and your defensive tackles aren't that good either. Looking past to Jack Doyle, you don't have a lot of pass rush. And he's got 3-7s, and you bring in the free safety blitz and all the linebackers. And the guy is a West Coast attack. You're not likely to get the benefit. It's just not helping you that much. 2nd and 7 for the Niners. They are at the Kansas City 42. Flat pass right, Kyle Juszczyk. Guessed wrong, but 2 men there. Receiver gets wrong, incomplete. And now Lawrence has a chance to get a stop. Lawrence, I keep saying Lawrence. Now Dale's got a chance to get a stop. 3rd and 7 for Lawrence at the Kansas City 42. Almost no man's land, but Lawrence is up by 2 touchdowns. Garoppolo's not great on the short pass. You might see a run here. Now Kuechly's a 6. And if Lawrence wants to run end run, he's running at defensive end 6s. So tough call there. Short pass, Brandon Cooks, 4 men in the flat pass zone. So only 3 men there. Dump ball for 6 yards. Sets up a 4th and 1 for Lawrence at Dale's 36. Lawrence will almost certainly go for this. It's Garoppolo, 21 of 31, 335. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Not much in the way of the short pass has been the flat pass or the bomb. And you can play that way. Whatever keeps that safety back. You don't want him flooding flats. So short passing or long passing, you want your quarterback to be good at least one of those, preferably both, to keep the defense honest. 4th and 1. Looking past Jack Doyle, throwing at a 6. Guessed wrong. 10 yards. Completion and a first down for Jimmy G. Now with 345 yards passing. Midway through the fourth quarter. San Francisco leading 28-14. Barring a turnover, long pass, Brandon Cooks. Guess wrong, going for another touchdown, and he's got it. Receiver guess wrong, plus 87 on Brooks' card. Only a 26-yard touchdown. And Dennis, I think, rejoins the broadcast. 34-14 Niners, Dennis. He rejoined the broadcast, but I don't think he's got his voice going yet. And now it's 35-14. Garoppolo to Cooks, the bomb has been just dominating in the second half. And the rest of the offense, too. I mean, the Niners running the ball, throwing flat passes, and going up top to Brandon Cooks. And Jimmy G's feeling it with the deep ball. I'm looking forward to seeing if Jimmy G can do well with the Niners this year. It's interesting. It's intriguing. So, Dale's not completely out of it, but it doesn't look good. As he gets a 5-yard completion there from Tyrod Taylor to Jeremy Maclin. And Dennis mentioned Taylor being Dale's first-round pick in the inaugural SOMIFA28 draft. It was not a super high pick, but you need a quarterback. But Taylor's future, I think, is in jeopardy as a starter in Buffalo. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces in the NFL offseason this year with the quarterbacks. Alex Smith getting traded to Washington. So Patrick Mahomes will be starting for the Chiefs. Kirk Cousins, the big free agent. But you got other free agents too. You got all the Minnesota guys. You got Sam Bradford and Case Keenum and Teddy Bridgewater, although maybe not Teddy Bridgewater. There's some contractual issue there. He might not be a free agent. Drew Brees technically a free agent, but the Saints supposedly want to keep him.
Hey, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
So I get disconnected from the broadcast and the roof falls in for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, absolutely. It's been Lawrence's. It's just Lawrence's offense has been moving the ball real well, and he every now and then he throws a bomb to Cooks and he hits it. Usually gets wrong. He's got like a 10-long gain at Garoppolo's caught. He had a receiver gets wrong, a couple of completions, and I think it's 3 touchdowns for Cooks. I think.
Wow, big day for Jimmy GQ.
Yeah, I just like to say Jimmy G. The Jimmy GQ.
Yeah,
I know. I know. You look at him and you can see the Jimmy GQ.
Well, it's not exactly the image you want for your quarterback. You want him to be play good, not necessarily to look good.
And Jimmy G is just a nice. I think it's a more natural nickname.
I just hope he's a total flop. That way, I don't have to have him torture the Seahawks year after year in the NFC West. Certainly did not look that way at this time.
Well, I remember last year, Dennis, we were talking about the Seahawks, and you were feeling like they were like in like a Pittsburgh Steelers type of situation where every year you're going to be good. Pittsburgh had Big Ben, and some of those years you're going to go into the Super Bowl or be deep in the playoffs, but you're always in the mix. Do you still feel like that's the way the Seahawks are right now? You have to wait and see what happens this offseason.
Oh, no, I still feel they just – oh, there's an interception. Pick
all
6.
the way back. Touchdown, yep, flat pass interception. Now, it was already 35-14, so we're not paying the closest attention to the on-field action anymore.
Yeah, so no, I think that they still have the opportunity to be like a 10-win team, year after year. It just depends on the pieces they put together around Wilson. Now, they did a lot of changes in the coaching this year, so we'll see what kind of effect that has. But yeah,
fumble on the kickoff too, but the Chiefs recovered it. Okay.
Anytime you have a solid quarterback, you can put together enough pieces around him to compete.
But you said you feel like they can be a 10-win team every year.
Yes, yeah.
But I'm thinking like when you made the Pittsburgh analogy last year. To me, I don't think of that as like a.
Well, same thing with Pittsburgh. They had a couple years in there mixed in where they went 8-8, didn't make the playoffs, but most of the time they're a 10-win, 11-win, 12-win team. If you look at their standings over the last 10 years, that's what I think you're going to see from the Seahawks over this stretch.
Yeah, well, because the Steelers, I think of them as more of like an every year potential Super Bowl team as opposed to just a 10-win team. You know what I'm saying? Well,
that's the way you look at Pittsburgh too. Every year, a potential Super Bowl team.
That's how I think of Pittsburgh. So I was asking if that's how you. Is that so? It's a little stronger than just a 10-win team.
It's not easy to win 10 wins to get 10 wins in the NFL. Show me a team that consistently wins 10 wins, and I'll show you a Super Bowl contender. Not everybody's. Of course, the top of the mountain is the Patriots who win the division every year.
Well,
not everybody can be that. I mean, that's like
uh,
impossible. But I would say the Steelers and the Ravens is a good comparison to what you'll see with the
although the Ravens have
Seahawks.
fallen off in the last few years. I don't think they're there. I don't think they're that team anymore. But yeah, so if we look at Pittsburgh going back to 2001, they were 13-3 before Big Ben got there.
Yeah, so
but yeah, from 2001 to this year,
11-5, 8-8, 10-6, 12-4, 9-7, 12-4, 12-4, 8-8, 8-8. That's the Seahawks the next few years. That's the Seahawks range of outcomes, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I thought Pittsburgh was a little higher there. So okay. You think of them that way, and you got to get to the Super Bowls, I guess. So we'll see. Yeah, it's really an interesting. It's a interesting time, and I would say a tough time for the Seahawks right now. Not in terms of whether or not they win 9 or 10 games next year, but the Legion of Cam Chance Legion of Boom is getting older, right? Earl Thomas is still fine. He's the youngest member of the Legion of Boom, but Sherman's like 29. He's going to be 30 soon. Chancellor's around that age and has an injury issue,
right?
And that was the strength of the defense, of course. Even though the defensive line was also good, and Wagner, of course, is great, and KJ Wright. But the most special part about the defense was probably the secondary. Certainly a big part of it, absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see now with those guys getting older, and if Chancellor was the first one to go or whatever, and there's some, it seems like it's uncertain right now whether or not they're going to possibly try to trade Sherman, whether they try to trade him last offseason.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. I think
and with the offensive line having not been good, like what type of Seahawks team we're going to see the next 2 or 3 years? There will be a transition force just upon age, sooner, in that secondary, and are they going to be able to draft enough guys? And they could become a different type of team. Maybe they can become a more offensive team or something like that. But I'm just curious, like what's gonna the next 2 or 3 years, what's gonna happen to them through the draft and with those guys in the secondary, and what's the team gonna end up like looking like? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, there's definitely changes coming. The pass rush was a big problem last year. They didn't get enough pressure on the quarterback, of course, with Cliff Avrill's injury. And when that happens, the Seahawks have wasted their first-round picks the last, 4 or 5 years. They've, Jermaine Ifedi hasn't been great. They picked Malik McDowell last year.
Can't hear you again, Dennis. Well, we lost Dennis, or either that or I lost my internet, because this game looks like it's frozen. I wonder if I lost my internet. No, I'm good here. But this game seems frozen. Spell mode off. Frozen, question mark. Microphone off. Yeah, so I missed the end of the game here, it looks like. We got frozen and kicked off and bumped off. It was 42-14. San Francisco with 2 minutes to go, so we didn't miss too much. Spell mode on. 10450. Microphone off. And I suspect the game is over, or they started a new one and didn't give us the game number because there were only 2 minutes left. So I guess that's the game, a little anticlimactic in terms of the broadcast. And I can't get back in here. Oh, it looks like Lawrence is sending it. Yep, there was a hang up there. 19916. Spell mode on. 19916. Spell mode on. 19916. Go to sleep. So I'm trying to join. Not sure what's going on here. This is always fun. Wake up. Spell mode off. Open quote, waiting for a server teams. Close quote. Press enter key. Go to sleep. And Lawrence is setting up another new game number here, it looks like. And again, this is academic. It's 42-14. The Niners over the Chiefs with 2 minutes to go. So Lawrence will be advancing. Congratulations to him. Dale had a fine season with 10-6 with that team. I mean, you know, wasn't a great team. So 10-6 is a good job there. Wake up. Spell mode on. 22137. Go to sleep. Club had a lot of balance to it. You know, some decent run blocking, some decent things on defense. You know, Tyrod Taylor, DeMarco Murray. Okay, club. And he did a fine job with it. And, you know, SOMIFA28, I don't know the team. I don't play the games. Dennis plays the games. So I don't know the teams as well. And I'm getting to learn that. And hopefully I can call some more of these playoff games as we're moving on into the quarterfinals. I've been calling so many games lately. Well, I called the entire SOMIFA postseason, culminating with the Super Bowl coming up. I called a couple of autumn win games, or just one autumn win game. I don't know, but I feel like I've done a lot. And then, of course, you know, SFA draft recap and season preview and stuff like that. And there we go. Now we have some Stratomatic football to watch. And somehow it's turned back the clock night because it's 2:06 remaining. I thought it was a 2-minute warning before. But regardless, again, academic, it's 42-14 with 2:06 to go. So. And then it said this is the final wild card game. So we'll be moving on to the second round. And those teams that have buys will be taking the field. See if we can take a look at the standings. So Dale's having connection problems and crashing. But you had the playoffs. You had, I think, the top 11 teams made it. Or were there many playoffs? There were many playoffs. So you had 13 teams in there. Chicago 9-7 advanced out of the mini playoffs. Well, Kansas City beat Tennessee. Chicago beat Denver. I don't think you were supposed to have an 11-5 team in the mini playoffs. I could be wrong about that based upon Ed's old thing. I'm sure Dennis looked at all this stuff. As we try to connect yet again. Wake up, spell mode on. 14389. Go to sleep. Let's get the Dallas Cowboys with Joe the Hammer. Joe Hammer was 14-2. San Diego, is that Paul? The Paul going 13-3. No, Nathan's team is up there. '28 team league. Or the Wind, of course, is a 30-team league. 28 teams, 30 teams, not much of a difference there. The different rule sets. This is in the SOMIFA family of leagues. Plays more of what I think is much more of a modern NFL type of a game. The dump off, the white die 6, the average defenses. The games just feel more like NFL games. There's all the win games. I know there's a lot of good coaches don't want to win. I know they got tremendous history. But boy, the rule set being used right now, geez. I don't know what I'm playing. Am I playing like a? You know all the turnovers of the 60s and 70s, and the turnovers and sacks of like the late 60s and through the 70s in the NFL. So it's not that. I don't know. It's just not real football in any way. Unfortunately, it's STRAT football. It's a version of STRAT football. I know it's just a weird situation. But hey, they like it. The guys in the league like it, and I guess enough guys in the league like it. It's tough to say in that league because there's no voting, which is fine. There's plenty of leagues with no voting. But there's just no desire to kind of, I guess, get a consensus of what the league members actually feel. So you really kind of just fumbling around in the dark. You have no idea. I couldn't tell you the dump off is popular or not in that league, for example. But it is a bizarre style of STRAT football when you play those games or when you call those games. It's just weird because there's no I can't think of a time in NFL history where you had very low completion percentage, few turnovers, dominating defense without pass rush or turnovers. I don't know. That never happened. It never happened. It's not happening now. So I don't know what we're playing. But anyway, I'm still in the league. And I will be. I got to get the team turned around. We try to connect again. Wake up. Spell mode on. 62288. Go to sleep. Oh, there we go. And now we can finish the game. 42-14 at the 2-minute warning. And like I said, the SOMIFA Super Bowl was supposed to be tonight. It's not going to be. Well, yeah, I can't say it's not going to be. It might not be. Ron Dickinson and Dale Ripley playing. Green Bay, Minnesota, big upsets all over the place. A big upset all postseason with all the lower seeds doing really well. The first time we'll have a SOMIFA Super Bowl where no team was 11-5 or better. Kansas City driving a little bit here just for pride at this point. 90 seconds to go. They trail 42-14. Lawrence will move on. Congratulations to him. Good running attack. Good flat pass quarterback. Good long passing. Did a decent job defensively. Yes, that's Joe the Hammer at 14-2 was the number 1 seed. Then Halfman F. Mankiewicz, 13-3, the number 2 seed. The Nathan has a very good team for the year. 12-3-1. Made the regular SOMIFA Final Four. He's a 3 seed. And Dennis coaches all the games. We're partners. I'm the GM with the Seattle Seahawks. 12-3-1. That was a big surprise. We were not thinking we could do anywhere near that well. 10-6, we would have thought would have been a really good year. 7-9 to 9-7 more likely, or 8-8, 9-7. But Dennis, of course, a great coach. 12-3-1. We're going to host New England. Is it Jeff Smith or is it Butch? That's neither. It's Brad. That's right. I'm going to talk about. I think it was someone that we know already, and we're talking to about playing. It's Brad at 12-4. We're going to play him. And then I'm not sure who won these other games. I did call that Tampa Bay Detroit game. Green Bay beat Chicago 14-7. So I said a more offensive rule set than you see on low-scoring games here. Interesting. If it's average, 28-team league, wonder what the scoring was like in this league compared to regular SOMIFA. But Tampa Bay with Michael Reeves advanced. So there are some matchups set. Green Bay at the Rams, 6 seed versus the 3 seed. That's Butch. Oh, is it Butch at Nathan? Okay, I know those guys well. With the SOMIFA Super Bowl upon us, only a couple autumn win games left. Then Michael Reeves closed the autumn win games. Kind of stepping back from a lot of stuff in that league. But yeah, I do have some time actually, so I probably could call quite a few of these quarterfinal games. Butch against Nathan, I wouldn't mind calling that one. It'd be interesting if I call the New England Seattle game, because I'm the GM of Seattle. So I don't know. I guess I can complain. Dennis, what are you doing? Dennis is a great coach. You can't complain, really. And then San Francisco winning, they'll be going on. So it looks like you're going to have Tampa Bay at Dallas. That's Michael Reeves against Joe the Hammer. And then Lawrence winning here means Lawrence at Paul. So actually some very good matchups to call here. You got Michael Reeves Buccaneers at Joe the Hammer's Cowboys. I'll have to call that game. Then you got Lawrence's Niners with a good offense at Paul's San Diego Chargers, 13-3. Then you got Butch going to take on the Rams. That's Nathan. And then you got Brad Lane coming to Seattle to play the Seahawks. So a lot of familiar names, a lot of guys, SOMIFA, SSFA, a lot of guys who make the playoffs regularly in these various leagues. In the quarterfinals. So I'll try to make an effort to call some of these games when Dennis sends out the files. And congratulations to Lawrence on his victory. We'll see him in the next round. He was on to face Paul. Sorry for all the choppiness there with the, disconnecting and reconnecting and this and that. But congratulations to Lawrence. Very good game for a while, and then it got out of hand in the third quarter. And Dale had a fine season, and we'll see you next time. Thanks to Dennis for joining me. Bye-bye.